They told us digital money would make life easier, faster payments, safer transactions, and a world where cash never slows anything down. But no one mentioned the part where every purchase, every transfer, every tiny decision becomes a data point, a trace, a fingerprint. For the first time in human history, money itself has become a tracking device. What if this shift to digital currency wasn't just convenience, but a doorway into something far more controlled? Because behind the promise of speed and efficiency lies a mystery no one wants to discuss. What happens when the very thing you earn, spend, save, and rely on becomes the most powerful surveillance tool ever created? To understand how we arrived here, we have to return to a time before apps and online banking. Back when money was physical, untraceable, anonymous. Governments didn't like that. Banks tolerated it. But people depended on it because cash created something we barely talk about today: financial privacy. In the early 1970s, long before the internet existed, major financial institutions quietly experimented with electronic transaction systems. The Federal Reserve wanted instant visibility into banking flows. The Bank of International Settlements wanted tighter global coordination. Tech companies building early payment networks saw the opportunity to reshape the entire idea of money. Digital transactions weren't just convenient. They were recorded, logged, stored. A trail that could be followed, a trail that could be analyzed. And that's when the real transformation began. The 1980s brought the rise of ATMs. Suddenly money no longer came from a human teller, it came from a machine that recorded every detail of the withdrawal: time, location, amount, user. Then the 1990s arrived, and as the internet exploded, banks rushed to digitize everything. Credit cards spread worldwide, online payments became normal, and behind the scenes, a new era quietly emerged, an era where spending patterns became psychological profiles. If you wanted to understand a person, you didn't need to question them. You just studied what they bought. Governments quickly realized this. Law enforcement agencies gained access to transaction records for security. The foundation for financial surveillance was being built, brick by digital brick, while the world celebrated convenience. Then came the 2008 financial crisis. While the public watched markets collapse, governments and central banks focused on something else: visibility. They wanted faster insight into spending patterns and systemic risk. They pushed harder for digital payments, harder for online banking, harder for systems that tracked financial behavior in real time. At the same time, big tech entered the arena. Companies like Google, Amazon, and Facebook understood that payment data wasn't just financial, it was psychological gold. Purchases revealed habits, fears, priorities, routines, and weaknesses. The digital world and financial world merged, forming a surveillance network more powerful than anything a single government could build on its own. By the mid-2010s, countries worldwide began discouraging cash, all with the same excuse: preventing crime and terrorism. But the deeper motivation was control. India suddenly removed major banknotes overnight, pushing over 1 billion people into digital payments. Sweden nearly eliminated cash entirely. China's rise of Alipay and WeChat Pay turned the country into an almost fully digital economy, where every transaction passed through systems monitored by the state. This wasn't just convenience. It was a shift from money you control to money that controls you. Digital currency became the perfect surveillance tool: trackable, analyzable, restrictable. Once money becomes digital, it doesn't just track you, it shapes you. Governments can influence behavior. Banks can freeze accounts. Algorithms can block transactions instantly. In China, digital payment behavior affects travel ability, borrowing ability, and even basic participation in society. And while Western countries don't have an official social credit system, they already have the same capabilities. Banks monitor suspicious activity, companies sell spending data, abstract purchases, and adjust prices based on behavior. The truth is simple: when money becomes digital, privacy dies first, and control follows. Attempts to protect privacy through regulations or encryption have repeatedly failed, because the incentives to collect financial data are too big. Governments want oversight, banks want analytics, tech companies want behavioral data. Everyone benefits from visibility, except the citizen. Today, digital money is evolving again through central bank digital currency (CBDCs). Unlike digital bank accounts, CBDCs give central banks direct control over money itself. Programmable currency, expiration dates, spending restrictions, automatic taxation, even location-based limits, all possible, all tested. Nearly 130 countries are developing CBDCs right now. The pattern is always the same. First convenience, then adoption, then control. Over 92% of global currency already exists only in digital form. Only 8% of world money is physical cash. Digital transactions generate hundreds of billions of data points every day. Money no longer just moves, it watches. Here's what this means. Digital money increases convenience, but destroys privacy. Because every transaction becomes a permanent trace, financial data has turned into power, allowing governments, banks, and corporations to understand and influence your decisions. And as money becomes programmable, institutions will gain the ability to shape how, where, and when you spend. We're entering a future where your financial freedom won't depend on how much money you have, but on whether the system allows you to use it. Digital money isn't just currency, it's infrastructure, and once it becomes the backbone of society, stepping outside it may no longer be possible. If you found this information valuable and want more deep stories about money, power, and the hidden systems shaping our world, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and share it with others who need to hear this.